The following episode contains difficult subject matter, including references to sexual assault. Please take care.
Hello?
Hey, Marianne, it's Dave Ridgen here. I'm just outside.
Okay, I'll be right down.
Okay.
Hi,
There
Dave.
she is. How are you? I was trying to think of the last time I saw you. It would have been
Long time ago.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Same here. I'm a little slow going upstairs these days.
It's okay.
It's been over 15 years since I first began working on Chrissy's case, and I'm here to see Marianne now because there's still more to do.
Oh, yeah. Excuse the mess.
Oh, no problem. Hi, kitty cat. Oh, there's Christine right there.
The same Chrissy in glasses photo in the same frame that I first saw her in at the Hanover church so long ago. I pick it up, and it's heavy. Chrissy is staring back at me, a face I have come to know so well after all these years. Marianne looks older, maybe paler, more fragile. Sean Russworm, Marianne's former husband, is noticeably absent from the scene. Marianne says that they ended their many years together in estrangement.
Yeah.
What's the kitty cat's name here?
Charlie. He's
Charlie.
a pain in the ass.
I used to have chihuahuas, didn't you?
They're in the bedroom or they won't stop barking.
Yeah.
They're 13 and 12.
Can I see the dogs?
I'll bring them out.
The nature of the work that needs to be done changes as cases progress, even when justice comes.
I know the day of the court, the police took me aside and they told me how they got him, like undercover, and that he did kill her and, he raped her and pushed her head down into a puddle or something, they said. But they wouldn't give me any answers to any of my questions. They said, that's all we can tell you.
After his rearrest following the undercover operation, Anthony Ringel is jailed to await proceedings. When court begins in November of 2014, Marianne says she is told by police not to attend in case she has to testify.
I know all the different emotions you go through and, how you got to handle it. And everybody kept telling me, why aren't you crying? I said, that's not going to get nothing done. I said, you got to be strong to try and get somewhere. I said, crying's when you're in your bedroom at night.
At pretrial, the defense and prosecution make their arguments before a judge for what evidence should be included at trial. Ringel's lawyer, Stephen Gell, mounts his most strident argument on what he says is a tainting of Ringel's newest confession by my CBC film. Basically, because some of Ringel's admissions to killing Christine were deemed inadmissible in Ringel's 2006 pretrial, any of those excluded admissions Ringel saw in the film tainted his new confession to the UCs. But the prosecution successfully argues against that. Judge C.J. Conlon agrees, stating, I conclude that the February 2013 admissions were not obtained in a manner that infringed or denied Mr. Ringel's charter rights, and the defense tainting application is therefore dismissed. In his ruling, Conlon writes, there is no question that the CBC film was deliberately used by the police as a ploy, a lure to produce a confession to murder, and it worked. The confessions based on Ringel's viewing of my doc are allowed into evidence, and Ringel's trial is set for June 2016. Marianne attends, but the details of what happened are obscured in a sea of legalese, and Ringel never takes the stand.
Even in court, he wouldn't look at me. Even the judge was waiting for a response from him. And he wouldn't. When I read my impact statement, he would not look. And I begged him in court to tell me where he put her. He wouldn't even say a word.
Ringel pleads guilty to second-degree murder, avoiding a full trial, and is sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 12 years. So where does this all leave Marianne? And where can she go from here?
I haven't moved on. I went down a few times and just put flowers in the river. We made her a really nice cross and we put it back in the site. They say I have post-traumatic stress disorder from it, but there's nothing they can do to help me, so I'm stuck. Where's my answers?
I'm David Ridgen, and this is Someone Knows Something, Season 9, the Christine Harron case, Episode 5, A Bear in the Woods.
Marianne Russworm, it took more than 2 decades, but there is now someone in jail for your daughter Christine's murder. How much has that changed things for you?
It's changed a little bit because there's a little bit of justice there, but I still don't have the...
Marianne speaking in the weeks after Ringel's conviction with CBC radio host Anna Maria Tremonti.
Yeah, this is never going to go away. For me, it's a daily challenge, just trying to live my life. And ever since she went missing, I don't celebrate holidays or anything because it doesn't feel right without her there. Like with my case, I don't have a body, so that is very difficult. I can't bury her, give her a proper burial. She was just like she was thrown away and garbage, But, keep trying and try to get your answers however you can. Don't always rely on the police. You've got to do it yourself. You've got to push them every day. I don't like the way the police handled the case at all. They made so many errors, and it was David Ridgen that brought all the errors to light for me. He started showing me paperwork with all the mistakes that they had made, and I was very angry. I believe that this case has come now for a guilty plea because of David Ridgen, of what he's done.
The late musician Daniel Johnson once sang some lyrics that I found instructive. Do yourself a favor, become your own savior. We don't need an outside force to make the change that is needed, and Marianne exemplifies this by never giving up on justice for Chrissy and being the reason any documentary could be made in the first place.
Did you ever get the chance to talk to Anthony Ringel person to person, like face to face?
No, because every time I went to try and find him somewhere, he'd see me and he'd run. It should have been the other way around. It should have been me hiding from him, but no, it was the other way around. I still want to hear what he has to say and what happened. Because, I'd read a long impact statement and it didn't seem to make a difference to him.
Did the police tell you specifics of how they got him to say anything, or did they tell you any other detail about...
They wouldn't.
So, just in terms of going forward, if I go and try to find how to get in touch with Ringel, I find out where he is, do I include you on the letter and say, we want to talk to you, or do I say, I want to, and then you just come?
I'll go with you. Yeah, I want to be there. You should be there with me. Yeah, I definitely want to be there. I want to hear what he has to say, but it's his version. You still never really know. I'm strong, though.
I know
strong
that.
person.
I know that.
Yeah. I've had to be all these years.
Well, let's find out how to work that then.
Correctional Service Canada, bonjour.
Hi there, I'm trying to determine... It can be difficult to find where someone is incarcerated in Canada.
I'll give you access to information, general inquiries.
Okay.
1844.
1844.
Thank you for calling Correctional Service Canada, Access to Information and Privacy Division.
Hi there, I'm trying to confirm if someone is in federal custody here in Ontario or elsewhere in Canada. Anthony Edward Ringel, Ringel. But no callbacks from Corrections Canada. So I craft a letter with Marianne. Without knowing exactly where Ringel is in custody, I send several of them to some of the likely prisons where he might be.
It's a little bit noisy back here, but it's okay. So I can put the computer right here. I brought some clips from the undercover operation to show you.
We wait for several months. Ringel doesn't respond to the letters, so I reconvene with Marianne.
Have you seen any of this before?
No, I wasn't allowed to.
I've set up the computer with the UC videos on it on a little plastic table in a secluded area outside of Marianne's apartment. It's a place that feels safe for her to watch. My belief, shared by Marianne, is that by confronting this footage for the first time, she can help herself to dispel some of her lingering demons. Courtroom justice is one thing, being a survivor is another.
So some of it's pretty difficult listening, and in fact, in the podcast, I haven't put a lot of that in. But I think it's important that you have the option of learning what he said.
Yes.
And I know, Marianne, that you say you're strong, and I know everybody thinks they're strong, but you can't kind of unhear this stuff, right? And you'll see him saying it too. So, but with that in mind, I can show you, and we can, are you okay? We'll keep going. Are you okay? We'll keep going. Okay. But only if you want to look at it, because you had said that you want to know the truth.
I want to know.
And Anthony has not responded yet to anything I've sent to him. So in terms of us going to talk to him, I'm not sure when that might happen. Can you see that?
Yes.
I play the first clip of undercover police video that shows the general setup of the apartment, the UC and Ringel, watching my documentary around the laptop computer. I want Marianne to see how Ringel starts reacting to the documentary as he watches.
Let's play this here.
You gotta keep on watching this because it tells everything, like...
They screwed up. I've got more anger towards the OPP and the town cops than I do Ringel.
Well, why'd you come and visit our fucking house and do this shit? Keep on
Neither
watching.
the OPP or Hanover police departments have agreed to speak on the record about this case.
So that's kind of introduction to what the scene is like. So you see Anthony starting to talk about the case here. Anything strike you? Did you imagine it being like this, or?
I didn't think he'd be that casual about it.
Currently in or close to a marshy lagoon, Ringel reportedly raped Christine and drowned her. He allegedly returned to the area a following day to bury her face down and naked in a makeshift grave. Not only does the OPP bring Ringel to these
I
locations...
don't understand why we couldn't find it. Well, buried. Fucking shit.
Did you catch what he said?
Yeah.
This is the transcript. Anthony, I don't understand why they couldn't find it. You see, Anthony, she wasn't really buried. And that's the beginning. So that's the beginning of his confession, basically. And it goes on and on and on and on for hours.
Wow. Yeah.
Hanover's public park. One of Christine's favorite places.
See,
According to the
that was our favorite place.
available documents, including interviews...
So he says, I didn't know it was her favorite place.
...and other courtroom statements. This is what is alleged.
And so on. I play clip after clip for Marianne, with Ringel becoming increasingly open about what he did that day. Marianne watches all of it intently, showing little emotion. I do not play the most graphic clips. I will leave her to watch those on her own whenever she might be ready.
It makes me angry to see him act that way on camera, be so callous about it, that he doesn't seem to care what he did. It upsets me all over again to watch him talk like that about her. But to carry the hate all these years, that's hard too. So until I got a life back here, it was all hatred, and that was eating me up. So you have to let some of it go. Maybe it's the only way he can cope with what he's done. I don't know.
but it's not right. It's hard to deal with that. Like, to see her walk away from the house and the last time to see her, that's hard. I have that guilt every day. We had a big argument, and I made her go to school. If I hadn't made her, it might not have happened. She might have been safe.
Guilt is etched like acid across the minds of all the victims' families I've worked with. Probably anyone who has experienced a sudden loss has become lost themselves in this terrain, but in cases like this, of people who go missing or who are murdered, it is almost always of a specific acuteness. If only they could have done something, said something, thought something different, it wouldn't have happened. Their loved one would still be here. The moments before saying goodbye, that final argument, or fleeting last glimpse wouldn't be on endless replay, and their remaining existence wouldn't be spent in some kind of penitence, pushing people and their own lives away. This kind of guilt has stayed with Marianne all these years, playing out day and night.
I have nightmares every single night, all night long, about trying to reach her and can't get to her to help her. And that's going to be the rest of my life. So I've seen psychiatrists, I've talked to counselors, and that will never go away. It's the guilt, and I feel that every day. So it's a struggle every day to get through it.
I don't think Ringel will talk to Marianne. There's been no response to our missives, and his lawyer has not responded either. Marianne, after seeing some of the UC tape, seems less interested in engaging with him, but still I know would jump at any chance if it came up. Our thoughts turn to another matter, constantly on her mind.
It wasn't dug up back there.
So the police said it was dug up, but you went back there where we went.
No, nothing's been dug up. That's back in on the other side of the park, side of the river there. It's all marsh, and there's no way they dug it up.
Have OPP or police ever communicated with you about finding remains or anything like that?
No, nothing. They said there was also helicopters with heat-seeking thermal images, and they didn't find nothing, so.
Has there ever been cadaver dogs run through there?
They said there was. I don't know.
Yeah, it makes me wonder about cadaver dogs and, that area. There might be still some remnant that might be detected by a dog. That's something to consider as well.
Yeah.
The current owner of the property on the west side of the Saugeen River, where Ringel says he took Chrissy, says police have not been back there for at least 8 years. If that is true, then nobody has really been actively looking for Chrissy. So that's what we intend to do. Just heading down this trail at the riverside, at the east side of the Saugeen River, out of Hanover Park. Lots of kingfishers in the trees. Those look like indigo buntings up there. The trail looks well trodden at this point. As we continue here, the ferns and Dame's rocket flowers start to close in. Great day to look for a body. It's a few weeks later, and I'm wading through underbrush in Hanover, Ontario. Every step I take is shadowed by what happened here in the spring of 1993. Ringel met Chrissy on this path. He says he took her into the increasingly tangled woods ahead, then crossed the river. I want to see exactly where, because Marianne will soon be arriving at the park that's disappearing behind me, and before she gets here I want to make sure of where we'll be going. While she has been to the park and partway along this path, she says she's never been all the way down it, and later, she'll help search the area west of the Saugeen River for the first time for Chrissy.
As you keep going here, the trail starts to divide, and you can hear the town off to the left, and to the right, on the west side, is the property that we're going to be searching today, that we've been granted access to. The river bends off to the west and creates a peninsula, a large bend in the river that Ringel refers to in his conversations with police and undercover officers. He says they go right to the tip of the bend. It's very much an unused part of the trail here. I have to crouch down in order to get through a lot of ferns and raspberry, brambles, logs across the trail here. They would have had to pick their way along here. If you go too fast, you can trip.
It's early June, and the trail and entire area around me is lush and overgrown. When Ringel and Chrissy traveled the same path in May 1993, it would have been somewhat easier going.
It's coming out to the tip here, so as you look across, you can start to see a muddy bank on the other side.
The Saugeen River can flood in spring to varying degrees, and across the water I can see some sign of that. There are fewer trees, more grasses, and mud, but the banks are high here, and it doesn't seem like the flood margin goes that deep. It's only about 30 feet before you'd hit a line of mature trees that would have trouble growing in a flooded area. It renews my hope that we might find some remainder of Chrissy. I come up to the tip and stop dead.
Yeah, I think that's it there. I think that's the spot where they crossed. It's got to be. Both trails converge here. I think to continue this way, you would start to go back down the other side of the peninsula. Right here. Right down here. Down this hill. And there's the water. This is the place. This is the place where Ringel pushed Chrissy in.
Ringel told undercover officers that he pushed Chrissy into the water and then went to the other western side of the river.
She went downstream a little bit, and I went across and hit the bank.
To get there, I've brought a couple of blow-up boats.
Oh, it's 9-bark, huh? I didn't notice it. It's all 9-bark here.
Yeah, common 9-bark.
My son Owen is here to help paddle them and some gear down to the tip of the peninsula where I just walked. This will be a temporary base camp of sorts. Owen's also brought a powerful magnet with him tied to a rope. We think it's worth trying dragging it along the bottom of the river nearby. Chrissy, according to Ringel, lost her glasses on the way across and also perhaps a bracelet. There's a needle in a haystack of needles chance we'll find anything, but we try.
So we're looking in the river, we're looking at the sides of the river, we're looking at this current and trying to figure out where the current might have taken objects. This is happening in 1993, and we're in 2024 now, and Chrissy will have been out here for that long.
31 years, I think.
That means that her remains could have been spread by water, by flood, by deterioration, by other animals, spreading them further up, away from the floodplain possibly, so that the margin of search is actually much broader and wider than where she initially was placed by Ringel. All right, so let's actually lift this boat down.
Yeah.
This will be the boat that...
Owen has lived these cases alongside me for years, at the muddy banks of the Mississippi River for the Dean Moore case, up in Thompson with Trevor Brown, searching Holmes Lake for the remains of Adrian McNaughton, and for Donnie Izzett on Dr. Noble's farm, and now here today as we search for Chrissy.
Okay, there's one boat.
We head down the river. Ferns and flowers, bugs and birds. There is no shortage. Chrissy's favorite place is bursting with life. Why is it that all these places are so fucking beautiful? I don't know. So we're just heading around the bend here. Got Owen paddling in the front. We're towing another canoe. Yeah. So you see this opening, and then down there by that branch down there? Yep. That's where I think he started the cross with Chrissy. So the search area is really all around us. I think we should just go along the shoreline, starting over here. Ringel says he pushed Chrissy into the water and she drifted downstream a bit. He says he then jumped in after her and brought her to the western shore, somewhere a short distance downriver on the other side. Let's just see where the current takes us. Let's figure out the course. There's a good ledge here to get stuff stuck under. Think you could sort of get it under there? There you go. On the end of the magnet are clumps of what looks like iron filings, common in rivers and not remarkable. We're not expecting to find anything. OPP had divers in the Saugeen River for a couple of days in spring 2005. They too were looking for Chrissy's glasses, but according to court documents, they were searching at closest about 400 meters upstream of where Ringel tells police he crossed the river with Chrissy, the spot where Owen and I are right now.
Lots of morning warblers around here.
I can really hear that morning warbler now.
I wonder what they thought he was mourning, or who it was.
Uncannily, that morning warbler is right where I think Chrissy probably drifted to. I think I see some police tape over there. As we float downriver from where I think Chrissy entered the water, something catches my eye. A tree on my left and up the steep embankment on the western side of the Saugeen. A tree with a lone red OPP tape tied to one of its lower branches. Some distant time ago, I don't know when or for how long, they were here.
I wonder what this is.
Put it inside the boat. Curved piece of metal, curved piece of metal. Ooh, that's interesting. Does that look like it could have been from glasses?
Rim of glasses.
Owen has pulled up the magnet to find an old rusty nail and something else, a curved piece of metal. Our excitement and wishful thinking want it to be a piece of Chrissy's glasses, but I suspect it may be nothing.
It really does look like a piece from a pair of glasses, doesn't it?
You think so? I don't know. It's obviously impossible to say, and wishful thinking to say it's from glasses. Okay, so we're almost ready to get out of here. Time to get back down the trail to Hanover Park. Marianne will soon be there after checking into her hotel, but someone else who will be helping us has just arrived. Hello.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Good.
Kim Cooper and Pauline Sunman have arrived with their dogs Reki and Taz, cadaver dogs that will be part of the search today. How's it been going since I saw you last, Kim?
Good.
Busy?
This year we were just saying, it's probably the busiest year we've had.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Kim and Pauline have volunteered on many searches like this, both live search and for human remains, including on SKS cases, and our hope is that they might find something where police searches did not. Kim wonders what I know about the prospective search area.
I have a map that they drew, but I mean the area is the area, right? It's not just, it's been over 30 years, 30 right? So spread, other animals, floodplain. I mean, other animals could have taken bone anywhere, right? So within whatever you must have some kind of matrix for measuring that, right?
Well, animals don't go far.
Yeah.
If Ringel is being truthful about where he took Chrissy in 1993, her remains could still be in this area. The floodplain doesn't seem to be consistent or even that high, and if, as Cooper says, other animals do not spread remains that far, we might have a slim chance, and it's one that Marianne is willing to take.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Marianne has driven here from her home a few hours away. She looks tired, but determined.
Pauline and Kim, this is Marianne.
Hi.
I'm Kim.
Nice to meet you.
And today, I'm not expecting miracles, but, feel free to wander around in the woods after the dogs if you want. But, if you want to just kind of stay put in the shade, that's fine too.
We begin our walk out to where I have placed the boats to make the crossing today, the likely point where Ringel says he and Chrissy went.
So we're coming up on the trail entrance here. And did police ever bring you out here before?
No,
So no one has ever brought you on this actual trail here?
no.
As we make our way out, it's tough going for Marianne.
How are you doing so far? Good.
There's lots of places to hide her that nobody would see her in this.
Okay, now be careful here. There's a big log. Let me grab my arm there. Okay, that's good. Oh, you're good. Watch out, I slipped right around here and face planted this morning. She's been here before though, right?
Yeah.
She would have known the area. He certainly knew the area.
Yeah.
So right around here is where you start to see that other shore. Yeah, so we're coming out. This is the very tip here. You have to go really low though down here. It's a really, really narrow little trail. You think you can come through there?
Yeah. Well, this is where it gets slippery.
Yeah. There you go.
Marianne and the dog handlers hunch down almost to their knees, following me on the final segment of trail that leads to the water's edge.
So, this is the place where I think they probably got to.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And I think the red police tab is on that tree there. You can see it if you come over this way a bit. Yeah, just on this side. And she drifted down a bit. The flow probably wouldn't have been much bigger than this at the time. So that log down there would be the last place. I would say no more than 30 feet in.
So if we're over here, like you say, 30 feet in or so, like any kind of animal scatter should only be 100 meters, not much more.
Yeah. Ringel, he was not implying that they were that far in. So I would say if you start at that log and you push. Okay, so I'll take the dog and Pauline over first, just so she can get to work.
I retrieve the boat and paddle it to where everyone is waiting. I'll shuttle groups over in pairs across the section of water Ringel says he and Chrissy went through.
All right. You think the dog's gonna like getting in here?
Pauline and Taz get into the boat, and we're soon on the other side.
So I'm going to go along the shoreline, then I'll work my way back. And then when I feel I'm finished, I'll come back.
Okay, and we'll just be looking around in here. Okay? Great. Good luck.
I return to pick up Marianne. She's afraid of water. Chrissy, too, would have been afraid here and wasn't a strong swimmer.
All right, just settle in for this journey across the river. It'll be a slow trip. When was the last time you were on that trail, Marianne?
I didn't go quite that far, but
Yeah.
it was that weekend.
Meaning that weekend when Chrissy disappeared in 1993.
That weekend, yep.
Yeah,
So that weekend you traveled that trail, but not that far.
just not that far.
And then after that, you would not have come down that trail again?
No, I didn't.
No.
We get out of the boat on the other side of the river, where we believe Ringel crossed with Chrissy. Marianne has never been here before and ventures deep into the bush.
Uh-oh. Shit, sorry. Oh, here, give me your hand on there.
Marianne's leg has disappeared into a deep hole in the ground. I help her out and she's okay. The ferns and grasses are up to our shoulders, and we can't see the ground. Walking is a process of feeling with tips of toes first, then proceeding. It's a nearly impossible task.
There you go. Step right over that, Marianne. Sorry, I should have held on to you there. Bit of a clearing here, so that's a bit of a relief for you. Here you go. How's that? Okay, don't go too close to the edge. Yeah.
I walk around on my own for a while and can hear the ring of Taz. At one point, Taz comes up to me and I cannot even see her. She's less than a foot away. The overgrowth of ferns is too thick, and I come to a point of recognition. This is too difficult. I return to Marianne in the clearing.
So I think we should just go back to the beach myself, because it just seems pretty... I mean, we can keep wandering around and hope that we, hit the right spot, but be careful. Here's that hole. There's another hole there.
We return to the beach after trudging back along our trail through the underbrush.
Threw my vertical off going through there.
Oh, you got a little bit of dizziness now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marianne's fall makes her feel dizzy. We pause to catch our breath and await the searchers' return.
What do you think that Chrissy would be doing now?
What she would be doing? She'd probably have her own children, her own life, and she'd be out camping with them. Be in summer. She loved to camp.
We can hear the bells, and Pauline and Taz suddenly appear out of seemingly nowhere.
So there was a little area that she sort of perked up, but she didn't indicate.
You recorded that spot on there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. How far down did you go that way?
Well, I think I went as far as you'd pointed
That
out.
log?
Yeah, log.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty dense in there.
It's very dense, yeah.
Yeah.
The better time to come is like a month and a half earlier. I'm going to probably have to come back, walk the whole area like next year kind of thing.
Or even in the fall.
In the fall, yeah.
When everything dies down.
Kim Cooper confirms that she and Recce will not continue the search today. Conditions are not right.
I mean, I've got a lot of trust in Taz. I don't think it has to be worked again.
Okay.
I'll revisit this place at some point. It's too bad that it's so high, but I think smell is smell. I mean, if anything, the ferns are going to keep the smell down.
Which isn't necessarily good. We like it up because then it moves around and the dogs can pick it up from further away because it's being carried by the wind.
Right.
If it's being smothered, they'd have to be right on top of it.
Yeah, okay. Well, then that's too bad. Thanks for trying that. I may go try and do a little bit of metal detecting now, but I'll probably get out of here as well soon. But I think I can get all that stuff over here myself, and thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Kim and Pauline have agreed to come back here, and I'll be here when it happens.
That's when we had to go. If you go too early, though, then it's too wet and tough to get around, muddy. If you go in the fall, you just have to go before freeze. So,
Back at the hotel with Marianne for a debrief.
It's hard going through there.
Yeah.
And to try and find anything there would be difficult.
Yeah, it was tough going. But that's okay. I mean, we tried. That's part of the reason we tried it, just because we wanted to try. I trust the dogs. I trust the handlers. So I think that we have to kind of live with that. It also shows me that if that area had been searched, because I went up and down a path like 4 times, and that path was easily discernible. You could easily see that path through the grass. So Ringel went back the next day. They both walked to this spot, somehow went to this spot. He forced Chrissy, but she went there with her and would have trampled the grass too. So that's 3 different trips or 4 different trips in the same area. I feel like she would have been found.
Yeah, they didn't search. They would have found her.
The west side of the Saugeen was not searched in 1993 after Chrissy disappeared, according to records.
Yeah. I mean, even Pauline, you could see where she'd been after one walkthrough. I don't know about sort of 5 days later, but a couple of days later, you would have been able to see that trail, right?
Exactly. And I told them, I know she's there. I could feel it.
And that just makes me not angry, but just kind of, it's unfortunate, right? And these are things you have to hold inside and accept. As you know, you're an expert at accepting, but not accepting, right? And you have to hold it inside and you have to accept that it's there, or else you won't be able to function. You have to be able to manage and survive with this stuff inside you. And you've done that commendably.
Yeah, I had to do it. If I wouldn't have, I'd have wondered, you know. Yeah, it's just something I have to do.
Yeah. I hope you have a safe journey home, and I wish we'd be able to say that we found Chrissy today, but we'll
Thanks
see you.
for all your help. Like I said, without you doing that, nothing would have happened.
Well, it feels like something happened and the work was worthwhile anyways. And you're in it. I mean, you're the reason that we did it, right?
All right.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Dave.
Yeah, okay. Take care.
Bye.
I say my goodbyes and head back to the site to do some end-of-day metal detecting and to gather all the gear and my thoughts.
If you fight the thing that you hate or that you're afraid of or that you can't solve, that's when you get the problems. You have to accept it, and you keep trying, and you move on, and it's part of you. It's okay. She's part of this entire place now. She's not just in one place, which was her favorite place. It's cold comfort, but that's okay. It's okay.
I find nothing with the detector. In fact, I find that it's more of a distraction, but this ridiculously beeping device is a good reminder. We're here to survive, but also to do more than that. And that is what we will do.
You gotta keep trying. You gotta keep trying. I don't think you need to accept it. I think you just have to keep trying.
This is the final planned episode in the case of Christine Harron. For more investigations, check out the past seasons of Someone Knows Something. From a deadly bomb hidden inside a flashlight to 2 teenagers killed by the KKK, there are 8 seasons of Someone Knows Something you can binge listen to right now, wherever you get your podcasts. Someone Knows Something is hosted, written, and produced by me, David Ridgen. The series is also produced by Katie Swires. Sound design by Evan Kelly. Natalia Ferguson is our transcriber. Emily Cannell is our digital producer. Chris Oak is our story editor. Our executive producer is Cecil Fernandez. Our podcast art was designed by Ben Shannon. Our cross-promo producer is Amanda Cox. Our video producer is Evan Agard. Special thanks to Dave Modi and Sean Morman. Tanya Springer is the senior manager. Arif Noorani is the director, and Leslie Merklinger is the executive director of CBC Podcasts. Our music is by Key Witness.